A loving mother, beaten beyond recognition in her own home. No forced entry, no stolen items, just silence and a body at the bottom of the stairs. As detectives dig deeper, a secret affair, a hidden payment, and a chilling betrayal unravel. What happens when the person you trust most becomes the mastermind of your murder? This is the haunting case of Layla Rusk, a story of love, lies, and calculated revenge. It was June 2006 in the quiet London suburb of Kingston Vale. Layla Rusk's children returned home one evening, expecting a warm dinner. Instead, they walked into a scene from a horror film. Their mother lay lifeless at the foot of the stairs, drenched in blood, her face unrecognizable. Police and paramedics were called, and the home was sealed as a crime scene. With no sign of forced entry and nothing stolen, detectives were immediately puzzled. Who would brutally murder a beloved mother in her own home? And why? The case would unravel a haunting web of secrets. The first thing detectives noticed was what wasn't there. No broken locks, no open windows, no struggle outside the entryway. Whoever attacked Layla was either let in or already inside. The violent nature of her injuries told another story. This wasn't a quick act of rage. It was prolonged and savage. Layla had been beaten with such force that her skull fractured. Investigators considered all possibilities. A home invasion, a robbery gone wrong, or even someone she knew. But the question loomed. How could a mother of four be murdered so violently without anyone hearing a thing? Layla's husband, a successful IT consultant, told detectives he was away on business in Europe when the murder occurred. He appeared calm, composed, and devastated. Yet police were trained to trust no one, not even grieving spouses. They verified his alibi and confirmed he had boarded a flight the night before. But something felt off. Neighbors described the couple as distant. Some even claimed they lived almost separate lives. Detectives wondered, was the perfect family image just a mask? And if so, could the cracks in their marriage hold the motive for murder? Layla's children were interviewed, but they were in deep shock. They offered little information. None had seen or heard anything unusual. Forensic teams swept the home, looking for fingerprints, blood trails, anything. But it was clean, too clean. There was no sign of a struggle anywhere else in the house. It looked like Layla had walked to the top of the stairs, perhaps to greet someone. And that's when the fatal blows were delivered. This suggested planning. This wasn't impulsive. It was deliberate, targeted. Someone had wanted Layla dead and went to brutal lengths to ensure it. Then came a breakthrough. A search of Layla's emails revealed something unexpected. She had been having an affair with a man named Aaron, a younger colleague at her workplace. They had exchanged dozens of intimate messages. Detectives tracked him down and brought him in. Aaron was cooperative, emotional, and claimed he loved Layla. He said they had talked about leaving their respective partners. Could jealousy or betrayal be at the heart of the murder? But Aaron had a solid alibi. Surveillance footage placed him miles away that night. With no physical evidence linking him, police had to move on. Weeks passed with no arrests. Then a tiny forensic detail changed everything. A single hair, found clenched in Layla's hand. DNA confirmed it belonged to a man named Victor Shaw, a convicted felon with a record of assault. But he wasn't on anyone's radar. Digging deeper, detectives found Victor had once worked as a handyman near Kingston Vale. And even more shocking, he was a distant relative of Layla's husband. Could this be the link they'd missed? A financial transaction days before the murder suggested a disturbing possibility. Someone may have paid Victor to kill. Bank records revealed a payment from Layla's husband's account to Victor Shaw, labeled as consulting. It was no small sum. Detectives now had a motive. Layla's husband stood to gain financially and emotionally by removing her. They confronted him with the evidence, but he denied everything. Victor, when questioned, clammed up and asked for a lawyer. The web was tightening. Police believed the husband had hired Victor to kill Layla, hoping to make it look like a break-in. But proving it in court would be another battle. They needed one final piece to bring it all together. Victor eventually cracked under pressure. In exchange for a lighter sentence, he confessed to everything. He had been approached by Layla's husband with an offer, $20,000, to handle a problem. He was given keys to the home, instructions, and a time window. He admitted to ambushing Layla and beating her to death, making it look like a tragic accident. Detectives arrested the husband immediately. He showed no emotion. For the Rusk children, it was a second betrayal, first losing their mother, then learning their father had orchestrated it all. The case was finally going to trial. In court, the details horrified the jury. The prosecution painted a picture of greed, deception, and cold-blooded planning. Layla's husband had fallen out of love, but rather than divorce, he chose murder. Victor Shaw testified against him, sealing his fate. The jury took just hours to deliver their verdict, guilty of murder and conspiracy to commit murder. Both men were sentenced to life in prison. Layla's children, though still grieving, could finally begin to heal. Justice had been served, but the scars would last forever. Her case became a chilling reminder of the darkness that can hide behind closed doors. Today, the home in Kingston Vale stands quiet, its tragic history hidden behind bricks and blinds. Layla Rusk is remembered not for her violent death, but for her kindness, her devotion to her children, and her strength. Her story was featured in New Scotland Yard files as a haunting example of domestic betrayal and calculated murder. It forced people to look beyond the surface of seemingly perfect lives. Behind the smiles, behind the curtains, sometimes lies unimaginable cruelty. Layla's legacy now lives on as a symbol of resilience, justice, and the relentless pursuit of truth.